Hello, everyone. Today, I will guide you through an understanding of the significance of Asalha Puja Day, a profoundly important day in Buddhism, which falls on the full moon day of the 8th lunar month each year. This day is not merely a public holiday, but a day filled with great historical events that occurred over 2,600 years ago, marking the official beginning of the propagation of Buddhism. During the time of the Buddha, 4 significant events took place on Asalha Puja Day. Firstly, it was the day the Supreme Teacher delivered his first sermon to the group of 5 ascetics, Pancha Vigya, at Isipatana Migadaya near the city of Varanasi. Secondly, it was the day the Buddha gained his first disciple, Venerable Kondanya, who attained the Dhamma and became a Sotapanna, or stream enterer. Thirdly, it was the day the first Noble Sangha, community of enlightened disciples, arose in the person of Venerable Anya Kondanya. After attaining the Dhamma as a Sotapanna, he requested ordination, and the Buddha granted him ordination, making him the first monk in Buddhism. And finally, as a culmination of the 3 preceding events, it was the day the triple gem, consisting of the Buddha, the Dhamma, his teachings, and the Sangha, the monastic community, was complete for the first time in the world. The history of Asalha Puja Day begins after the Buddha attained enlightenment on the full moon day of the 6th lunar month. He spent 7 weeks experiencing the bliss of liberation, Vimutti Sukha. After this, he contemplated that the Dhamma he had realized was profoundly deep and difficult for beings still burdened by defilements to comprehend. Brahma Sahampati, a powerful deity from the Brahma world, understood the Buddha's contemplation and descended to humbly request that the Buddha teach the Dhamma. Brahma Sahampati compared beings to lotus flowers, some submerged deep in the water, some at the water's surface, and some rising above the water, ready to bloom. This analogy implied that there were still beings with little defilement who were capable of understanding the teachings. Out of great compassion for all beings, the Buddha accepted Brahma Sahampati's request. Once Brahma Sahampati returned to the Brahma world, the Buddha considered, "To whom should I teach the Dhamma first? Who will quickly comprehend this Dhamma?" He thought of Alara Kalama and Uttaka Ramaputta, his former teachers. However, a deity informed him that both ascetics had already passed away. The Buddha then turned his thoughts to the 5 ascetics, Pancha Vigya, who had previously attended to him during his period of severe ascetic practices. Although the 5 ascetics had misunderstood and abandoned him when he ceased his extreme austerities, the Buddha recognized their past service to him and decided to teach them at Isipatana Migadaya. When the 5 ascetics saw the Buddha approaching from afar, they agreed amongst themselves not to rise in greeting nor to accept his bowl and robes, but merely to prepare a seat for him should he wish to sit. However, by the Buddha's supreme spiritual power, as he drew near, the 5 ascetics could not adhere to their agreement. All of them rose to welcome him. One took his bowl and robes, one prepared a seat, one brought water for his feet, One placed a footrest, and another offered a towel for his feet. The Buddha sat on the prepared seat and washed his feet. After attending to the Buddha, the 5 ascetics addressed him by his name and used the term avusu, which is used for equals or juniors. The Buddha then admonished them, saying, "Monks, do not address the Tathagata by name, nor use the term avusu. Monks, the Tathagata is an arahant, perfectly enlightened. Lend your ear. I have attained the deathless. I shall instruct you. I shall teach you the Dhamma. If you practice as I instruct, you will soon realize the supreme goal, the ultimate end of the holy life." Initially, the 5 ascetics still argued with the Buddha, stating that previously, when he practiced extreme austerities, he did not attain the Dhamma, and now that he was indulgent and had relaxed his efforts, how could he have attained enlightenment? The Buddha firmly reiterated 3 times that he was not indulgent, had not relaxed his efforts, and had indeed attained enlightenment. He emphasized that he had never spoken such words before and was speaking them now for the first time. Upon hearing the Buddha's firm assertion, the 5 ascetics consented to listen attentively to the Dhamma discourse. The Buddha then delivered his first sermon, known as the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, which means the discourse on the turning of the Wheel of Dhamma, or the discourse on the spreading of the Wheel of Dhamma. This first sermon is likened to a royal chariot of Dhamma that the Buddha wished to use to carry all sentient beings out of the cycle of samsara to the safe haven of Nibbana. The Buddha himself was the charioteer, and the wheel of this royal chariot of Dhamma is the Dhammacakka, composed of 3 essential parts: the hub, the spokes, and the rim, which he analogized to crucial Dhamma principles. The essence of the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta is the proclamation of the middle way, or Majjhima Patipada. This is a practice that avoids 2 extremes. The first extreme is Kamasukkalika Nuyoga, which is indulgence in sensual pleasures, seeking happiness from sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and tactile sensations. This is ignoble, worldly, and unbeneficial, not the path of the noble ones. The second extreme is Atthakila Nuyoga, which is self-mortification, causing oneself suffering without benefit, such as extreme ascetic practices or relying on supernatural powers. This is also not the path of the noble ones. The Buddha extolled this middle way as the practice he had realized through supreme wisdom. It is the path that leads to calm, higher knowledge, perfect understanding, the cessation of craving, and liberation from all defilements. This Majjhima Patipada consists of 8 factors known as the Noble Eightfold Path. Samaditi, which is right understanding, which is knowing and comprehending correctly, seeing things as they truly are. Samma Sankappa, which is right thought, which is thinking wholesome thoughts and intending good deeds. Samma Vacha, which is right speech, which is speaking wholesome words. Samma Kammanta, which is right action, which is performing wholesome actions. Samma Ajiva, which is engaging in a wholesome or ethical profession. Samma Vaya, which is striving to abandon unwholesome states and cultivate wholesome ones. Samma Sati, which is acting with constant awareness and not being heedless, sama samadhi, which is keeping the mind steady and firm, not scattered. In addition to the middle way, the Buddha also expounded the Four Noble Truths, which means the noble truths of the noble ones, those who are far from defilements. The Four Noble Truths consist of dukkha ariya satcha, which is the noble truth of suffering, which refers to all problems that arise for human beings. One must fully comprehend and face these problems as they truly are, accepting reality and understanding that all things are